We are back with a new episode of the DraftKings Life Podcast. I'm Jason Jones, Senior Recruitment Marketing Specialist, and I'm joined by Meg Powers, Talent Acquisition Associate. What up, Meg?
Hey there, Jonesy. Not too much is up. I am home in upstate New York for the foreseeable future, just hanging with the rents, not really going outside too much. So I might try to take a walk today. That's the highlight of my day. How about you? What's up with you?
So before I answer that, if you're in Skinny Atlas and it's December, are you snowed in?
It is 23 degrees. There's snow on the ground, but I wouldn't call it snowed in. I think in the next couple of days, we will get more snow. We'll see. I'll keep you posted. It's pretty cold.
Yes, no, I'm good. It's cold here in Boston. We actually just got spared over this past weekend. Outside of 495, they got a lot of snow, but here in the city, it was just rain. I can tell you this, my dog does not like walking in the rain. Like Saturday was like a downpour, like all day. And I would take him outside. And before I opened the door, he looked at me like, bro, are we about to do this? And I'd be like, yeah, like let's do this.
I know. Finley does a really cute thing where she will cry at the door and then step outside and just turn around and come back in. Like she doesn't even go anywhere, but she's trying, I guess. Awesome. Well, this week on the podcast is another special week. We have not one, but two guests. Emerson and Jessie are on-air personalities here at DraftKings. So excited to have them on. How are you guys doing today on this beautiful morning? What's been up?
Great. I mean, it's freezing out today here. I think it's like 26 in Boston right now, but got the Christmas decorations. So feeling in the spirit.
I know.
Yeah. Your tree looks awesome, Jessie.
I mean, that tiny table light up tree. Yeah. I'm surprised you guys went with, you have a real tree, Emerson, because
No, Jessie.
Oh, it's fake. I'm sorry. It's fake. But
it's a fake tree.
But still, you have a tree because, I mean, Emerson has a puppy. I have a puppy. I don't trust my dog.
That's true.
Yeah, it's taken us a while to trust Winnie with this tree because she looks at it and she says, oh my God, like this little sheep or like this ball here, those are all of my toys. And, we've had to sit her down and talk to her. That is not the case, Winnie. But it's the first time we've ever had a fake tree. So I kind of feel like I'm cheating on my old self where I've always done a real tree like every year.
You're not cheating. That's eco-conscious, that's a reusable tree that you use for years to come.
You're evolving.
Yeah,
I salute you.
I really think it was just more of like what tree was on sale at Target that my wife had me go and pick up.
There you go. Saving money and also looking out for the environment. Emerson, I salute you, man.
Legend.
Thank you, guys.
We picked out two trees. My mom really wanted two. She wanted one in one room and one in the other. And they decided that my car was the one that those should go on and in. So I had one on the roof and one inside the car. So my car covered in pine needles. But
I was going to say, are you still finding them?
Yeah, we are, but that's okay. Jonesy, how are you? I feel like your cat probably goes after the tree, or maybe he's too lazy.
I'm great. There's not a lot of festive decorations in the Jones household right now, mainly because we just moved and so we're trying to get our life together. But in the lobby of our building, there's like a 10-foot tree, and so that's nice to look at every time we come in from walking the dog. So other than that, maybe hang a wreath or something. So yeah, we'll see.
Well, super excited to, we've been chatting a little bit, but introduce our guests here. So Jessie and Emerson, why don't you just talk a little bit, tell us about what you do at DraftKings, and we'll go from there.
I like how Emerson just keeps deferring to me. He's like, and Jessie?
Oh yeah, sorry. The reason I keep pointing at you is because like my AirPods kept going like in and out here, and I'm trying to keep it like super professional, like
Be real, Emerson. You always defer to me anyway. So like, just be honest.
Yeah, let me have her screw this up first, and then I'll screw it up less when I go.
So Jessie Coffield, on-camera talent at DraftKings. Honestly, I feel like I never know what to call myself. I'm like reporter, host, on camera talent, but basically on camera host is what I like to go with. And Emerson and I co-host the sweat, we do a myriad of other on-camera work. And then we also will go and like host events. You know, this was pre-COVID and hopefully post-COVID, but go like host events and sort of like MC stuff while also doing on camera, you know, interviewing people that we have who are part of our, you know, competitions and stuff like that. So
yeah. I'd say the same thing. Retweet and fave, except the only thing I'd really like add to that is we're also like professional like snack mashers. Like when we're in the office and like we can actually talk to people and eat. Like I mean, Jason, I see you in there all the time as well. I'm like, oh my God, dude, like we're here for the fifth time.
Gotta stay field to work hard.
Yeah. It's amazing, dude. And then I usually will throw a few peanut butter cups in the backpack to bring home anyway for the wife, you know?
Perfect.
Corporate did not hear that. Corporate did not hear that. We do not take food from the office.
No, we bring them on the bus to go. That's fine. Well, some of us can walk, I suppose. But awesome.
That's right.
Well, you'll have to add that to your job title, I think.
Put it on the
today
resume.
will be today we'll just be running through some more questions to get to know more about your DraftKings experience. So I like to start the podcast by just kind of seeing how you guys are doing with the current state of the world. Working from home definitely is not the norm, especially in your guys' field. I know you're going in and out a little bit, but how are you guys doing?
Personally, for me, I'm doing so bad. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not doing so bad. I am, in the grand scheme of things, it's like suffering is relative, right? But at the same time, you kind of always remind yourself at the end of the day, I have a job, I have a roof over my head. So really I am doing very well, but again, suffering is relative. So like on a personal level, I have always thrived with structure and being so unstructured, and I'm a creature of habit and a creature of routine. And I like to wake up and get my coffee and I do my workout and I have my, you know, routine. And it felt like when COVID happened, the rugs pulled out from under you. And I don't like working from home personally. I know a lot of people love it and they feel much more productive. But for me, I really love, like, when I'm at work, I'm like, I am working and I'm at work and I'm doing my thing. But when I go
look
home,
at me.
Yeah, everybody look at me.
Just walk around the office. Yeah, I get it.
Yes. But then when you go home, you get to turn it off. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to being in this place where we're kind of living at work because there's no real separation. So,
oh man, I feel that so much. I
you
really do. Like I want to break, and it's like I look over, it's like, well, I'm working here at my table, and like I'm sitting 5 feet away, like on my couch, where I'm supposed to like try to mentally separate where I'm working and like where I can get away from work. And that was a struggle. I guess I was looking at it more like glass half full, where I'm like, okay, great, things are going well, but yeah. Personally, yeah, it's a little bit of a struggle, but thank God we have dogs now.
Like generally doing pretty well, making the best of the situation, but for sure not my favorite like year of my life.
It's not my favorite pandemic.
Not my favorite. Yeah.
Hopefully it's the last one that we have to deal with.
So let's start at the beginning. How did you both land at DraftKings? Do you have agents that contacted us? Did you audition? Like, what's the process?
I don't have an agent.
No.
I think Emerson has an agent.
Yeah.
Just, you know, out here being our own agents.
Yeah, we're just super talented. That's all.
Yeah, so talented.
Megan, I have agents. How come you two don't?
Yeah. Shoot.
Damn. Send me his info.
Yeah, come on. No, I mean, so Emerson and I have actually known each other for years. We worked together before DraftKings at a place called LSN, which was Lax Sports Network.
Yep.
And like met each other, hit it off right away, have been like brother and sister ever since. I knew Justin Hathaway, who was previously with Nesson, who came to DraftKings, who has now moved to the Bay Area and does Comcast Sportsnet stuff out there. He came to DraftKings and was starting this media department basically. And he brought me on initially to do some like freelance work, to do some stuff for the World Cup. And then he was like, you know, we're looking to launch this show and we're looking for hosts. So then they started bringing me in to do auditions, like, and it's auditioning in our job is so weird. Like they're like, we're gonna so weird. Like they're like, all right, we're doing a mock show. So you just sort of we're going to pretend it's a show and you just stand here and, you know, act like you're doing it. And here's like a script and blah, 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 and just do it.
It's like, yeah, it's like fake laughing too. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, that was great, co-host.
Yeah, it's
Great job,
weird.
Guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was super
right?
weird.
There's no one there.
And I actually auditioned twice. And I specifically remember that the second audition they scheduled for the Tuesday after Memorial Day weekend back in 2018, I think. And I had a bachelorette party that weekend in LA. I literally left early, left on Sunday so that I'd be ready for Tuesday. Took like a red eye back. I remember being like, you got to get it together, Coffield.
It's like you're looking in the mirror, like slapping yourself.
Lock it up.
I was like, you got this. But that's sort of how I got involved with everything. And then, you know, I knew Emerson was auditioning too. And I think they really liked our dynamic. And that was part of why
definitely helped.
Yeah.
That definitely helped that you and I had that relationship already. And I had been freelancing at Nesson for a few years, and that was where my relationship with Justin Hathaway was born. And so when they started to launch the show, he did the same thing with me. He called me up. I came in there. My first audition wasn't even with Jessie. It was with another young lady who I believe they were considering at the time. And Justin said to me, "Hey, what do you know about this Jessie Coffield lady?" And I said, "Okay, well, let me tell you what. If you want to launch the show and already have hosts who have a relationship that are going to shine and get weird as hell, on camera, and be entertaining while also being informative. So infotainment, if you will, this is the way you want to go." And then it was a week later, I think we were in there together, and we were just like, we tricked him. We tricked him again.
We were high-fiving. We were like, yeah, let's do this. But that's something that is kind of unique to our industry, is that it's this weird balance of, you have to know what you're talking about, right? You can't have no knowledge, but you could know sports from top to bottom, be the most knowledgeable person ever, and just not be right for being on camera. So it's this interesting balance of, you have to have personality and you have to, have a dynamic with your co-host and stuff like that. So it's really worked out in our favor that we have such a good relationship and we're such good friends.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, this is perfect.
It really was the stars aligning too. And then I don't know, just Justin Hathaway, linking all of us up. So we always tell him on Twitter when we're talking to him, we're like, "Hey, we're here because of you. So shout out to you, man. Love you."
Thanks, man.
Going all the way back, did you guys always know you wanted to be on air, camera talent, reporters, whatever we want to call it? What was your dream jobs?
Well, Emerson was going to be an actor. He was a drama major for a semester at
2 semesters. I wanted to be an actor, which I basically still do now. But it's on a much smaller scale. Yeah, I wanted to get into acting and do all that fun stuff. So I was a drama major when I first got to UCF. And then a buddy invited me on his All Florida Sports radio show, which aired on campus at UCF. I was like, sweet, this is pretty cool. I would love just to talk sports for a living. So that's basically how it all started. And now I'm here crushing it with you guys.
Yeah, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I had always played sports though. I played lacrosse and got recruited to play lacrosse in college. And so I played D1, and then, when you're a D1 athlete, it's a full-time job. I had more freedom in high school than I did in college. You're on a tight leash and your time is very scheduled. Yeah, it's brutal. And less of a chance to sort of explore, it gives you a lot, but then it's a trade-off, right? But the summer in between my junior and senior year of college, I was a Red Sox intern, and that was a really cool experience. And I remember Jenny Dell was the Red Sox sideline reporter at the time. And I remember kind of being like, you could get paid to do this. And that sort of piqued my interest. And that whole summer, I was around all of that and working with a team in sports. And I thought it was so cool. And when I graduated, I was trying to apply to stuff, and they were like, "Okay, cool. Where's your reel?" Because most people start doing stuff in college. They start working for their radio station or studying broadcast journalism or, doing stuff like that. So they have a little bit of a body of work. And I was like, well, I've never done this before. And they were like, okay, so you need to get some experience. So I actually moved to Atlanta, like sight unseen, like found an apartment online, like had never been to Atlanta, packed a car, moved down there because I got an internship at a place called CBT News, which was Car Biz Today, which was about cars. And it was for people who worked in the car industry. Like trends at GM and like Ford. But they told me they would give me on camera like work. So I did that and then it snowballed from there.
Awesome. What did you guys study in school?
I was a comm major, communications. Yeah, which is
I
super
went,
broad.
It is like you can do anything.
Yeah.
I went broadcast journalism with a minor in coaching. Yeah, that's right.
What?
Yeah, girl. Coaching football was my minor. They made us have a minor, and I was like, all right, dude, I want to totally focus on broadcast journalism and becoming like the next Brian Gumbel. So I don't want to work hard at my minor. And so I just did coaching. And I actually didn't even ace my coaching minor because there were a few classes that I missed. And with coaching minor and with these football coaches, if you missed a class, you would immediately be docked a letter grade. And there were a couple weekends that I hit the road with the boys to go to concerts. So I missed those Friday classes. It was once a week, Friday at noon, and I didn't make a couple of them. So I only got a C in a coaching minor.
Wow.
I know, it was pretty bad.
Turned out okay though.
But then you get a C for showing up. So I feel like you just showed up once in a while.
Yeah.
You just show up. That's basically it. And then they demonstrate like football stuff in front of the class. And I'm like, let's go.
Luckily for us though, no one in history has seeing your resume isn't a thing. Like, I don't think it's a thing for anyone at this point after you've been out of college, but like when you were first applying for your first job out of college, I feel like people needed their resumes. And they needed to see their like grades from college and like transcripts.
Have their LinkedIn updated when LinkedIn was just kind of catching steam.
No one's ever, I couldn't get you my transcript if my life depended on it. Like, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know the last time I've touched like a paper resume because really everything we do, it's basically like you send them like your reels and work that you've done in the past, and they know if they like you in the first 10 seconds. That's what they always say. So that's why you try to put, something like fun, it's gonna make you stick out, but also solid right off the top, because that's when they're going to form their opinion of you.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of reels, let's get reels for a sec. That was a bad pun, but I don't care.
Oh, dang, Jay.
How did you meet, and what was the first impression that you had of each other?
So we met at LSN, and Emerson came in. I don't remember our first meeting. Do you, Emerson? I don't really remember it. I remember thinking that you had a lot of personality. I was like, this man is out there.
And you know what? I'm pretty sure I had the same thought about you. And
I'm
then
sure
we
you
started
did.
hosting shows together, and us just never sticking to script in those shows and just doing all sorts of just weird stuff and screaming and dancing. And it's even great when I get all these memories that pop up in my phone from 3-4 years ago when we first met.
We used to do this show at 9 p.m. The show would start at 9. So it was late at night when you hit that weird point where you're hyper and stuff and you're still at work. And this place, LSN, this studio used to be when they were first starting out. It was in Brighton in this big weird space that
It was an
a
old
garage.
It was an old shoe store. It was the old New Balance store is what
it was. Massive.
And they had it there. Yeah.
And there was nothing. It was they built this studio in one part of it, and then there was just nothing. They put out basically folding tables, and we would all just sit around and get really hyper and crazy.
Yeah.
And the producers knew when we were on a show together, they were like, all right, remember to not curse.
Yeah.
And we were
and you know what's funny is they still give us those reminders today.
Yeah, they do.
It's just all right, you two,
We
Here we go.
rile
This
each
is gonna
other
be
up.
live.
We rile each other up. Like that's the way it is.
Well, you've made it a long way. That's
Mhm.
awesome that you guys have had that relationship and brought you to DraftKings, and it's definitely changed a lot too, just with the evolution of the sweat and everything else. What are the steps to produce a show like that? Do you guys help write anything? Like, what is your day to day?
Yeah, so we have like ridiculously talented producers, couple guys that, I go back with years, again, going back to my like time at Nesson when I used to work with them there, like guys like, Tom Glennon and Matthew Durgan and, like Tom Rigia, who's like leading our department. I mean, these are a lot of guys who know their stuff. And so that a lot of times they'll come up with really creative like ideas for segments, and they typically will try to put like an idea of how they think the segment will go, and then like Jessie and I kind of go in and give it like our own little flavor, if you will, and put our own twist on it. And so it really is like they kind of get the ball rolling, and then we come in and kind of keep it moving in the right direction. Hopefully it doesn't go like too far off the rails, but like what we do, you see like us two like on camera, but the team we have like behind it is 10 times the size of us. I mean, and it continues to grow. Like Billy and Jay and all the guys behind, and Samir, all the guys who were editing like behind the scenes. I know. Once I mention the name, I'm literally trying to think about everybody in our.
We
I know.
got Axel, Billy, Samir. Yeah, I mean
Andrew. Yep.
Andrew, Brian,
and the ones and twos. I mean, even people on the Dream Stream with like Madison, and then producer Drew. It is. And we have a bunch of new people I haven't even met because we've hired so much during the pandemic. But
basically, we basically like get a document that is like, okay, here's the A block, which will be bookended by a commercial break. And then in the A block, it will be like, here's the guests that you have. Here's the bullet points of the questions that we want you to ask. And then here's what's happening in the break. So we'll go in and write. It's like getting a bullet point document, and then it ends up being, looking like paragraphs, because we go in and we write intros like welcome to the sweat, and outros where you're like, all right, coming up next, here's what we're doing, but here's what's happening in the break, and then fleshing out those like bullet points in the middle. But like our producers, like Emerson said, like they make our job easy for us because they're so detailed with what they put in those bullet points. So it allows us to go in and like take more time to look up details that we might want to add instead of having to like really like figure out, background for these questions and stuff like that. Like they add so much of that we're able to add our own flavor and stuff like that. But I mean, really, they do so much work for us.
Yeah,
so
they make our lives like so much easier, and other talent like on our team, like we'll even tell you that too, like Brendan, Koff, Terrelin, and then shout out to Matt Cody too. I didn't forget you, so I think I have everybody.
He's name dropping everyone. I love it.
So like I'll say too, sorry Meg, like Samir and both Jays, like they have helped us out so much with this podcast. Even other like internal initiatives I'm working on, they're gonna have like external lens on them. Just asking like the dumbest questions, like, so how do I position my camera phone, and then like how do I hook the mic up there? They drop everything, and they are just so helpful. So thank you, media team.
Yeah, they honestly,
you're
they
very
do
welcome.
so much.
I told them to do that, Jason, by the way.
No, they do so much. They help so many departments. I mean, things that it's crazy. They do so much work.
Yeah. I mean, well, like we do everything in-house now for the company. Like anything that needs to be produced, like I believe a couple of years ago, we used to like outsource a bunch of stuff. Now it's all in-house. Right? You see, Coffield on your television like all the time. And like there's no reason to look outside the company anymore, not when we have such a talented team.
So evolution of the sweat, I know we've talked about it a little bit. I'm going to pull a meme on you guys. So how did it start and how is it going?
Well, it started in the closet that we were in. And if you could see it, it's like when you used to see us on camera, it looked very professional because you frame it up, but really it was like a corner, and there was like a shelf and like a screen. And then if you had seen the rest of it, you would have been like, what? I don't understand. Why are they producing this show from a pantry? And then how it's going is obviously we have this state of the art lighting grid. Like, I mean, the studio is like top of the line. It's really amazing. So that's like how it started, how it's going.
It's a day-night difference. And the studio now, multi-purpose, multi-use studio. Like you see the desk, you see the BAM, which is the big ass monitor. There's another section for stools, and like where we used to have like a big couch for that, back in the days where you could like sit and talk to people. And there's even like a touch screen. I mean, we could probably even use like more and like a larger space now, again, because of how much we've grown. But the studio that DraftKings has provided us is unbelievable. Like,
and it's like right through the entrance. Like it's kind of
and the window that people can see too. That used to be so cool. Yeah,
it's like awesome. Boom, like you guys are like, welcome to DraftKings. Look at this. And before they were like, get in the closet in the back, you guys, back in the pantry.
Yeah. Now people can come in. They're like, who's that dude wearing like a fake mustache and a lady dressed up as Mrs. Claus?
Yeah, they're like, weird.
So you two have already dropped a couple of gems, like around how you got to where you are. But can you provide us some lessons that you've learned throughout your career related to hard work, grit, perseverance that you can apply to us with 9-to-5s?
Yeah, I would say like you would be surprised at how far being scrappy can get you. Like I mean, it's something I've learned a lot. Like you're going to hear no, at least in our career. And I'm sure this applies to everybody. Yeah. You'll hear no so many times. Or it's either you're going to let that like internalize that and start, backing down and stuff, or you're going to like push forward. And for me, I've always been super scrappy and just like heard no so many times and was just like, still staying in touch. Like, let me still send you some stuff. Let me just, and eventually it paid off. It took like 2 years, but like it paid off eventually. So I think for everybody, it's like just staying on your grind and like being scrappy and hearing no and not letting that stop you from continuing to like try and reach your goals. And maybe that means you have to like pivot a little bit, but like never stopping,
Yeah, I love it. I agree. Like what I tell everyone every day is I have never been the most talented at like anything of like what I do. When you pit me up against other people, but what I've always done is I've always outworked like everyone else like around me. And that's a big reason why I'm here. And like what Jessie says, like, don't ever get discouraged. Like if someone turns you down or says no, don't ever think that like you're annoying someone to the point where you think they won't get back to you. I think you just got to get back to you. I think you just have to stay on their radar, because even times where like people are reaching out to us like kids for advice, we may be so swamped with like work one day and just forget to get back, but thank God they send another follow-up. So I'm like, oh my God, like I'm so sorry. And then you end up like, giving some advice and helping out. But just outwork people. That will always get you somewhere. Like companies could always use people who want to just work their tails off and not quit.
And like, I think Emerson and I share this sort of, approach to our job and our work where we'll try anything once. Like neither of us has any ego. Neither of us has any, coming in and being like, this is how we're going to do it. And this is what we want to do. And we're only doing it this way. Like we're both super like, we will, and that's something that will serve you no matter what you're in.
Man, for sure. Be so like open-minded and definitely like sometimes we even go into like projects or shows, think it's going to go one way and it goes like the complete other, and you just ride it out, man. And it ends up being like a great product just because you're flexible and you adapt.
So Jessie, taking with you, we saw you last year at the Super Bowl, just tearing it up. What was that experience like, and had you done any of that before?
No, that was my first Super Bowl and I was so excited. Oh my gosh, I was so excited. I think it's everyone who works in sports dream to like go to a Super Bowl and cover it.
It's like it's the epitome. It's it's still on my bucket list. So like that entire week, I'm just sitting back here in Boston, like doing stuff in the DraftKings studio. I'm like, that's
gotta work hard, gotta grind.
Yeah, gotta grind.
More reels.
Yeah, no, it was so cool. The energy was incredible. The team, obviously incredible. I mean, I know we've touched on it before, but like when those videos go out and they hit social and they hit everything, like we would go out and shoot all of that. And then like, I'm like done. I mean, I'm still, I'm going back to the hotel and I'm working on questions for, whatever interviews we might have and stuff like that. But like the team is not even like halfway done. Like they take that footage and they're running back to the hotel and they're editing and they're adding graphics and they're doing all this crazy stuff. So the product that you're seeing is like, I did like this much of it and they did like this much of it. So, but it was so cool. The energy, like I said, was out of control. The fans, like seeing the setups and then interviewing athletes and stuff. It was absolutely amazing. I mean, I know we're going to talk about our favorite DraftKings moment, but like, spoiler alert, that was mine.
Yeah. It's it goes back to like a year plus ago too, when I was at the Fantasy Baseball World Championships in Chicago. It's the same thing Jessie was saying. Like we go out there, we have some fun, we do our interviews, we're hanging with fans. But then, like the red light goes off and then like our, handful to 10 people behind the camera are they're all on like 4 or 5 editing computers because they're all pushing out stuff for like social, and then you got to edit it and make it look good for the sweat and maybe like whatever shows like that the sweat airs on other networks. So it's really cool, like those events like that, but also to see all the other guys like just working their tails off behind the camera.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. So Jessie already ruined my final question. Thanks,
Sorry.
Jessie. No, I'm kidding. But for both of you, what are your favorite DraftKings moments?
Okay, so obviously mine was Super Bowl. You can't match it. Like it's just the coolest, experience ever. I had such a blast. TBT, love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that was and Fantasy Baseball World Championships for me. Like we're camped out at Wrigley Field for 4 days, like in Chicago, and some of the projects like we got to do, where I got to do, Emerson's day off. We were emulating Ferris Bueller's day off, and we traveled all around Chicago, like reshooting some of those like famous scenes from the movie. So that's really cool, and that again goes back to just the brains of the operation and like the producers and content producers and photographers and editors that we have that put that together. So that was a really good moment for me. And to be kind of cheesy, I know Jessie will back me up, but also the moment just we're living in now with this team, like the fact that like we can't stop growing and producing like content. I think we're going to look like down the road, we're going to look back to like this time, I think on our team, Jessie, and be like, wow, that's really when we started to blow up.
Oh yeah.
Well, you guys made it through all of the questions that we have. The last
Yay!
The last couple minutes here, we're gonna do a 2-minute drill, but we're gonna split it into 1 and 1. So Jessie, you're gonna go first, and I'm gonna put a timer on that. We're trying to get through as many of these questions as we can in 1 minute, and then we'll turn it over to Emerson and do it the other way. I'm gonna make Emerson mute his mic.
During my minute.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. Go ahead.
Okay, we are going to start the timer in right now. Where were you born?
Alexandria, Virginia.
Favorite athlete you've interviewed so far?
Cam Jordan.
Do you get recognized after your Monday Night Football appearances?
Yes, and I love it.
Dead or alive, who's one sports figure you want to interview?
Dennis Rodman.
Favorite athlete to come out of BC besides Matt Ryan?
Luke Kuechly.
Pick one, Twitter or Instagram?
Instagram.
Favorite part about being a dog parent?
The snuggles.
Favorite musician?
Kygo.
Favorite season of the year?
Spring.
Favorite quarantine hobby?
Eating.
Favorite mobile app?
Instagram.
Last book or podcast you listened to?
House of Earth and Blood.
Last movie you enjoyed?
Star Wars, The Phantom Menace.
Okay. Go-to coffee drink?
Oat milk latte.
Favorite restaurant in Massachusetts?
Little Donkey.
54 seconds.
Oh,
54.9. We will mark that down, and I will turn it over to Jonesy. Do you have time?
Let's go, Emerson.
Yeah, that was good. I'm
Let's
impressed.
crush this.
All right, let's do it,
Ready?
man. Hit me
In
with
3, 2, 1. Where were you born?
Jacksonville, Florida. I am the Florida man.
Favorite athlete you've interviewed so far?
Let's go favorite athlete I've interviewed so far this month. Jalen Smith of the Cowboys.
Nice. Dead or alive, who's one sports figure you want to interview?
Gardner Minshew, an American treasure.
Does being verified on Twitter and Instagram come with special life perks?
Yes, I've received 10% off a silicone collapsible travel dog ball.
Why doesn't UFC get its respect?
Because people are cowards.
Pick one, Twitter, Instagram.
Instagram, it's only pictures.
Favorite part about being a dog parent?
Morning kisses.
And do you get recognized after your Monday Night Football appearance?
Yes, I even hired my own personal security.
Favorite musician?
Dave Matthews.
Favorite season?
Summer.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah!
Yeah.
I did it!
You
Jesse-
did it. I
Jesse-
won though.
Yeah, Jesse, if you ever need to borrow my security, like, let me know.
Who's
You
your
should
security?
see that.
Is it-
It's a madhouse. I'm up and down, walking up and down Calm Ave. People are like, oh my God, I saw you like once.
Is your security Winnie? Is it your puppy?
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
She just licks intruders away.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Winnie, she's very intimidating and tough looking. I think
Yeah.
I just,
Yeah, there she is back there. Check her out.
So cute.
Meg just went into the bedroom because
So
she's making a
cute.
morning call.
Oh,
Look at her
she's
trying
like,
to get in there.
No.
There she is. All right,
Oh, so
she's
cute.
in, guys.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. It was super fun to chat and learn more about your DraftKings experience.
And
Ugh.
we're
I
going
love
to
you
close
guys.
out.
Yeah,
We
thanks for
love you
having
too.
us.
Thank you for the positivity. And you know what? You know what? Let's extend that positivity by asking, what's a motto or mantra that you live by every day?
Mine is
go
I'll go for I was waiting for you and
Thank
then
you.
okay.
Thank you. Okay, I was doing a dramatic pause, but go ahead.
Mine is it doesn't matter how hard you get knocked down, it's how fast you get up. My dad used to say that, and I mean he still says it, but
I've met that man. He is a scary man, very intimidating.
yeah, he's legit.
He will knock you down and probably not let you get back up.
That's true.
For me, it's F it, dude. Let's go bowling. And what I mean by that is if things don't go your way or someone tells you no, or yes, you get knocked down or you're struggling to overcome like it's a mountain of adversity, there's always bowling.
Wow.
I
Beautiful.
like those. Thank you.
Inspirational.
Thank you. And thank you so
So I'm
much
here
for
Meg.
thank you too for the most entertaining podcast so far, and probably nothing will top this. So thank you so much. And thank you to everyone for joining us today. And be sure to follow us on social media at DraftKings Life. Our podcast can be found on all major platforms: Apple, Spotify, Google. We got you. Download, listen, and better throw us a 5-star rating. But until next time, be safe, be kind, and take care.